Several years ago, Melody Wagler began a project with the idea of changing attitudes about a place. While she's unsure if that goal was met, she and others who became involved experienced hope and positivity from doing it. And one or two other lives were touched along the way, which is really all that matters. And the project continues. Welcome, Melody.
So how many of you have ever heard of the little project, Carded by Hutch? How about if you've ever gotten a card? There are cards being passed around now, and these specific cards have been made by well over a dozen people all across Hutch in coffee shops and cozy homes. So now each of you have a taste of what Carded by Hutch is. The project's story started when I heard people around me talk about this place, Hutchinson, Kansas, as the worst. I wondered if there was a way that I, just as one person, could make a difference with that. I connected instantly with the idea of anonymous cards, and I actually do have the audacity to give these cards not from a person, but from a place. This was one of the first batches of cards, and I noticed most that there are a lot of words here. As I wrote these cards, I was thinking of what could mean a lot to me to get and who would be picking it up. I believe each card finds its way to a person when it needs to, and the people who tend to pick up a card are looking for something, maybe finding it right then. I also was doing this project while going to school in Lawrence, and while Lawrence is pretty proud of itself, I so wanted to share the joy that I got in doing this project with another place that I love. And I invited friends and met new people as we wrote cards in coffee shops all along Mass Street. I'll never forget the fun we had in writing cards together in the bitter cold on some of the nights when we hung them along the trees on Mass. But to my surprise, we got few responses compared to the cards in Hutch, and we can draw our own conclusions about that. Back in Hutch, doing it with more people did make it even more fun. We didn't use any religious-based language because there are few things more beautiful to me than to share something with no agenda other than to let a person know how incredible they are. And if that's not the most beautiful thing in the world, I think it actually is gathering with friends to do the most necessary work of sharing light and positive messages with the world. I have gained so much from these times in hearing others' thoughts on what meaningful words have been given to them, what they want to share with others, or just in being with people who care enough to take the time to do something like this. There were other times when I was writing these cards and they helped me deal with hard things. For example, when I woke up one morning to hear about the mass shooting at a gay club in Orlando, I wanted to do something, and I already had a platform to share hope with others. One of my friends and I got together that morning and created beauty, this beauty, from our pain. And if you've ever wondered what a table full of love, light, and fun looks like, wonder no more. These cards are coming straight into your hands tonight. They are each different, some of them written by kids, some of them just for fun, some of them serious, and all of them different. Some of them are even a part of the full circle in someone getting a card and now passing that light on to others. But what about where they could be found before this and in the future? Mostly, they've been at Third Thursday because that's high traffic walking, and it's uniquely Hutch. Also just because it's so cool. So keep a eye out the next time you go to Third Thursday. There are so many favorite parts of this little project, but the mischievous side of me really enjoyed hiding these cards in some obvious places and some not so obvious. And I also recruited some friends to help me out on this when I couldn't. They told me they had fun doing it, and some little kids even got involved. Now I get to talk about possibly the most meaningful part of this whole project, aside from people I've met, and that is when people share their moments of finding the cards. If you go to Facebook and find Carded by Hutch, you'll be able to find these. I'll be sharing a few of the photos that I got permission to share with you all. It was so incredible to read the words of people as they shared the photos, and many of them shared that it was just what they needed to hear at that moment. Others expressed surprise or delight at finding a card or told me later that it made their hearts smile. Rachel shared that this was a needed message at the time. I'm sharing the words on this card because it's a reminder that I think many of us could use much of the time. The card says, "Believe in yourself more, because no one could ever take your place, and you are more wonderful than you could ever know." Anastasia shared that it was just what they needed to hear at the time. And as I and others wrote these cards, we did a lot of thinking about what could be meaningful to anyone to hear, as well as words that are true of anyone. And this was one of those messages. Gail found this card and expressed appreciation for everyone who works hard to make downtown vibrant with events and opportunities. So if I've had so much fun doing this anonymously, why share about it now? Because this has brought me so much joy in doing it, and others may want to become involved with writing these simple cards. Or maybe the next time you go downtown, you'll know that the card stuck in ornaments or shrubbery is really just for you and yours, like the Parks family here. And then sometimes several coworkers each find a card to multiply the fun. Heather, who posted this, also shared how each card seemed to fit each person perfectly and carried the spirit of these cards even farther with giving beautiful affirmations to others. This is the post that I like to show anyone who gets involved. Matt found a card after somewhat giving up on humanity and said it was a reminder that there are decent people left in the world. As we write our cards, we are encouraged by reminders like this, that even just one person noting how others care really can make a difference. And there have been so many times when those encouraging words came back with perfect timing. This photo was sent by Dylan's mom, Danny, at just the right time to be a day brightener. I can't tell what difference this project has made for others, but I do know that it has meant a world of fun, beauty, and joy for me in countless moments like this. And it has given me a deeper appreciation for this community as I have spent time with people who also make a difference or show people they care in projects like mine or others. I can't think of a greater purpose for any place than that. And no matter how much of a difference it makes, perhaps it is the doing that really matters. And now one last question. How many of you have gotten carded by Hutch?